enough lobby. Enough lobby. I will make the music a little quieter. It's back to Apollo's house and his job that is going very well and normal. It's been 2 months since I last played the attorney. Oops. Ace Attorney takes so much talking, and I have not had talk for 3 hours energy. I don't know if I have talk for 3 hours energy today, but we are at least starting the last case. This is the last case. We are almost done with the video game, though if I remember correctly, this case is like really long, because finale cases are usually pretty long. It's probably like 5 to 7 hours or something. I don't really remember. But I like it. I like it. Ace Attorney 4, my favorite game, is almost coming to a close soon in multiple more. Don't post all these worms! What? Was there anything else? Oh yeah, also my arms hurt, but gaming probably should be okay for the arms, so we will at least see how long my voice lasts. Yeah, let me begin the game and begun with this music. Begun with this music. Open the game. Start. Oh, also, let me know if my audio is fuckled at all. I noticed that my mic audio was like way too loud, which would account for a lot of the horrible peaking that was happening in a lot of my recent streams, which I do not enjoy. But if anything's like way too like if game's too quiet, if I'm too quiet, if I'm too loud, etc, 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 let me know. Also, I am not alone in the house. Possibility of frame dropping real. It's going to storm, but hopefully nothing bad will happen because our infrastructure has gotten a little bit better recently, in recent years. So yeah, video game. Oop, I missed the button. And that is the whole truth of this case. In order to— oh, the audio crackles. In order to understand it myself, I had to know the story of these last 7 long years. Nothing happens by chance. All is connected. And now, you stand ready to begin the final chapter of this story. Will the defendant be found guilty or innocent? The decision is yours. God, I love how overly dramatic the last case opening is. It's so good. I hope the decision is yours, pointing you. I hope everybody who's been joining me is caught up on streams if you missed recent ones, or else you might not entirely know what's happening. But then again, who's to say? How hot is my tea? Drinkable. Excellent. October 7th, not 17th. Hey Apollo, look! On TV! Look! Look! Yeah, I'm kinda busy. Whoa, look at that! He's the last Grammar-Eye, right? Alright, amazing! Apollo, you should be watching this! Ow, wow, 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 what? What? I was writing about our last case in my journal. Lawyers are supposed to write things in records, Apollo, not journals. And why now? The case was 3 months ago now. Hey, it's a long story. I did a lot, you know. I want to vacuum pack the feel of the moment for later. Apollo. Right now I'm wowing the crowd by figuring out how Lamoire disappeared. That's right, Uncle Valen did the illusion too! But you're missing him on TV right now. I was just getting to the good part. I suppose I should watch a little TV with her. After all, her father's expecting me to look after her while he's away. I love how much Ace Attorney 4 is just babysitting simulator. What you're now seeing is a rehearsal for the greatest magic show on Earth. Happening right here at your very own Sunshine Coliseum. The Sunshine Coliseum? Hey, that's where the Gaviner's concert was. Only 3 more days until miracles happen here, right before your unbelieving eyes. The legendary Troupe Gramarye is performing for the first time in 7 years. I forgot how you're supposed to say that name. That's gonna be great! I'm so there! You and Daddy are coming too! The legendary Gramarye. If Trucy's real father was still alive, he'd be on that stage performing miracles. Fucked that they put up a picture of a dead person. I got the tickets and everything. Here's yours, Apollo. Magic show ticket. Ah, you are here. Working hard or hardly working? Hey, how have you been? Hi there, stranger! Not exactly the kind of greeting I want to hear from my own kid. Though he has been gone a long time. How goes it, Trucy? Here, I got a present for you. Yay! Pudding! I love pudding! Ooh, it's farm fresh! What does that mean? And not just one pudding, but 3 whole cups! I'll have to pace myself. Well, I'm beat. That's right, Daddy. You're on a top-secret mission. You've got to take it easy with the secrets, you know. How right you are. So, you still can't tell us what— oh, that's a ball. So, you still can't tell us what your mission is? Maybe it is time. It has something to do with you, anyway. Uh-huh? With me? Ooh, maybe you're getting a top-secret mission, too! Maybe you can be one of those guys. A spy! Can't I just be a defense attorney? Ahaha. To be honest, telling you about the mission was my whole reason for coming here today. What? Nick. Tell me. You've heard of the Juris system, yes? The Juris system? Phoenix is a little making a motion with my hand. Not the gay wrist, you know? That's right. Well, I mean, that's right. The new legal system everyone's talking about. Have you heard of it, Apollo? Huh? Maybe? Maybe not as many people are talking about it as I thought. The Juris system, huh? Oh. So, Daddy, what's this Juris system thing? Phoenix is the least gayerist, honestly. He's too depressed. He has other things going on. Well, Trucy, do you know what a jury is? I've heard of it. Isn't that those people who sit in court in those old courtroom dramas? The ones who get to decide if a guy's innocent or guilty. Do you know Apollo? Only from TV. You're a law student! It's 12 people chosen from the community, right? Well, they're thinking about reviving that system. They're calling the new system the Juris system. No more doing whatever you like, Your Honor. Not quite that harsh. The jurists operate with a judge. They help analyze the case from different angles. Littles don't call him straight passing! Ah, and there will only be 6 of them under the current proposal, right? Wow, you know your stuff, Apollo! Their findings directly affect the verdict. Hopefully, people will start taking the courts a little more seriously now. Saying Phoenix has Carlos Zeroscape energy is really something, and I'm gonna have to marinate on it. I feel like I'm on some kind of educational TV show. Starring Dr. Wright. Dr. Wright, his assistant Trucy, and Mascot Apollo, the perfect team. Mascot? Hey! Secret mission. So, what is this secret mission? The Juris system is my mission, more or less. Anyway, keep in mind that new ideas like this system are always risky, Apollo. Too true. Everyone's got an opinion, and they just talk and nothing gets decided. Kinda like you, Apollo. I'm not that bad. Am I? In any case, we're going to give it a shot. A test, if you will. I don't like tests. We'll take a case as an example and choose 6 jurists. I'll be the one helping with that process, incidentally. Helping how? Well, for one, I'll be chair of the Juris System Simulated Court Committee. The chair constructs the ideal situation, choosing the case, the jurist's candidates, even the judge in the courtroom. Wow, it's like you have a real job! I was never that good at the piano, to be honest. Once a lawyer, always a lawyer, I guess. The trial's tomorrow, by the way. Don't miss it. The trial simulation, that is. A simulation, huh? Sounds interesting. So, what kind of case is the trial simulation about? Well, since it is the first run-through of a new system, I wanted something simple. Good thinking! No sense wearing yourself out on something too serious. True. The case is a murder. That's not simple at all! By simple, did you mean that the defendant is... guilty? Yes, most likely. So, good luck, Apollo. With what? With the trial tomorrow. You're defending, of course. Recall that I said it had something to do with you. Go for it, Apollo! It's just a test case anyway, no sweat. Yeah, but there's still a verdict to be decided. And a potentially serious sentence. The most serious in a worst-case scenario. You mean the verdict's for real? Yeah, they bully Apollo a lot, and I do love it, but he does deserve rest. Because they don't ever stop bullying him. That's not a test trial, that's a real trial! All the forms have been filed. There's no turning back now. The trial begins tomorrow at 10 AM. Hope you can make room in your schedule. But, why am I only hearing about this now? Yes. There was a change this morning. I picked a new case. Something that happened last night. Okay. Now let's talk about Valen's dead. Hey Apollo, I know you're all excited about that secret mission. But what about this? The Troop Grammar Grand Magic Show. If I was Apollo, I would have quit. Yeah, I'd just find somewhere else. Huh? Oh, right, the card tricks. They're not card tricks! They're grand illusions, miracles, the apocalypse, heaven and earth! So, what, that's 3 whole days from now? It's at Sunshine Coliseum! Let's go today! We can say hi to Uncle Valant! I said that weird. Have fun. What? I can't go by myself. You know I'm not very outgoing. That is not true. Right. Why not go with her? But what about the secret mission? Oh, don't worry about that. You'll hear all about it tomorrow, regardless. I don't trust that smile. He knows something that he's not telling me. Yippee! Now you can take me to the Coliseum! I suppose it wouldn't kill me to pop over there. Ah, Grammari. That reminds me. What's this, Daddy? Isn't that Silcat the Grammari seal? Consider it a birthday present, Trucy. Thanks! It's great! But... today isn't my birthday. Good point. What day is it today, Apollo? Huh? Today? I think it's Recycle Your Plastics Day. Then it's a Recycle Your Plastics present. Yippee! So it's plastic! I've given up trying to understand them. It's much easier that way. So, what is it? Can I open it, Daddy? No. Huh? You'll need that envelope someday. Someday soon. Don't open it until then. Well, why didn't you just hold on to it until then? Because that would be the logical thing to do. Envelope obtained. An envelope with the Grammars, huh? Phoenix is so smug and so mysterious in AA4, it's really good. Trial simulation. Excuse me. Alright, so what case are you going to use? You really want to know, don't you? Of course I do! I mean, I'm going to be defending, aren't I? If all goes well, then yes. Of course, this is just a test. We wanted everyone to start without preconceptions. A blank a blank slate, as it were. There's a difference between having a blank slate and just being totally clueless. Whose dumb idea was that anyway? Well, mine. Committee chair, remember? Oh. Well, if you want to know that badly, I suppose I could give you permission to examine the scene of the crime. Good! That's better! But you can't talk to anyone involved with the case. What? Then how am I supposed to defend? You let me worry about the details there. Remember, I'm in charge of this trial. All of it. But you don't want it to backfire, do you? Apollo. If I'm in charge of the whole trial, that means the entire affair is my responsibility. For good or for bad. Just do what you can. And don't worry. I know what I'm doing. Alright. I'd recommend going down to the detention center. Your client's waiting for you. You can ask about the scene there. But you just said I couldn't talk to anyone involved. Oh, you can talk to your client. If you can get her to talk. Well, that's well, time's a wasting. Jeez. I don't think there's really much to examine. I'll poke something. Magician in the photo. Is that your... My real daddy? Yep, Zach Samurai. He disappeared when I was little. I hung that up there so I wouldn't forget what he looked like. I see. She's smiling, but I'll bet that smile doesn't go very deep. Yeah, I think everything's about the same here as it usually is. Shame we can't examine Phoenix and want to lay hands on him. I mean, we can at least present things to him. Ah, presenting, are we? I did my fair share of that back in the day. Fitted my attorney badge a lot, too. You may look cool and calm now, but you should have seen him before. You know me too well, Trucy. I'm glad I provided this opportunity for a little family bonding. Presenting, are we? Yeah. Typically, characters have like one line of dialogue unless you give them something specific. That's true what Trucy. True. Woohoo! What Trucy desires. Woohoo! This is it, Apollo! The place where magic and dreams converge! Just a while ago, it was a place where murder and nightmares converged. Let's go say hi to Uncle Valent! What about the case? Wah! Only a performer laughs like that! The young Miss Trucy! How often I hoped we'd meet again, only to tell myself it was an impossible dream. Aha! Uncle Valent! How's it going? I'm glad to see you too. Of course you are. Humility is definitely not one of his stronger traits. Well, Miss Trucy, how does the day find you? If you've come to give me flowers, do it after the show, I beg you. Actually, we came to wish you good luck. And congratulations on your big magic show. Oh, but it is I who wish to congratulate you. Not everyone is so lucky as to witness miracles such as I shall perform. Yeah, you're amazing. We get the picture. The world will watch in wonderment as Magnify's illusions are reborn. He's very piss yellow. Here on stage by my hand. I do not remember how I voiced him. I did not check any of my previous videos. The Big Magic Show. Everyone's talking about the Big Magic Show. Is it true that the Grammary Miracle is back after a 7-year absence? Miss Trucy, I must apologize. This show and this honor should have been his. Daddy. My co-magician in training, Zach Grammari. If that terrible thing hadn't... It's okay. Your father was a great magician, Trucy. If he were alive, then I, Valent Grammari, would have been proud to stand upon the stage as his assistant. Thanks, Uncle Valent. You know, I'm happy you're doing the show. To think we get to see the great Magnify's illusions again. She really is looking forward to this, isn't she? Yeah. My mentor, the magnificent Magnify Grammari, was a true deity among magicians. A creator god who gave birth to magic and illusions that defied our very imaginations. I was so little when I last saw one, but I still remember his shows. He did wheelies in a sports car through the air above the audience. How do you do a wheelie in the air? And then sped off to outer space faster than the speed of sound. I'm guessing that memory was a bit embellished. For 7 long years, the world has been waiting for a miracle to match his. As heir to the Grammary Troupe's secrets, it falls upon me to provide one. It is my God-given destiny. Yes, you, nameless face who speaks for the nameless masses. How can I help you? If the world was waiting, why did you hold off 7 years? It appears the lad is uninformed. Perhaps you have heard of the magic known as law, which governs our land? I have, though I'm not sure it qualifies as magic. The performance of Magnify's miracle was impossible. A certain law prevented it for 7 years, but no more! 7 years? That phrase sure likes to pop up, doesn't it? Disgusting piss vibes. And why was that? A little matter called performance rights, Miss Trucy. Performance rights. Can you tell us about these performance rights? Magnify's magic relied on an incredibly innovative idea. A trick, if you will. That trick was considered his property, and as such was protected by property laws. Intellectual property, maybe. Magnify knew this and bequeathed it in his will. To one person. You mean him? Yes. Miss Trucy, it was your father. Zack Grammari was the inheritor of the Grammari miracle. Daddy. I don't know why they use that sprite for her there. Her, like, just standing stock still sprite. Yet, as you will know, he is gone. He disappeared suddenly 7 years ago. I think I see where the story's going. Once a person is classified missing for a certain period of time, they're considered legally deceased, correct? Oh, that was Apollo, not him. In all absoluteness, those rolled-up sleeves conceal your incompetence, well, young man. Ugh. Yeah, copyright IP on magic tricks in my law game, yeah. That certain period of time of which you speak is 7 years. Ah! Yes, Miss Trucy. Though it pains me to say it, this past spring, April to be precise, was the time. Your father was legally declared deceased. In the absence of a formal will, the secrets of our mighty mentor Magnify passed to me. This was, in fact, stipulated in the will by Magnify himself. Is that how it works, Apollo? Yeah, it's called death in absentia. He's declared missing permanently. Daddy. Ooh, it's thundering outside. Hey, do you fucking care about any shit? Well, he might care about one thing. Ahahaha. A challenge, is it? You want me to make that disappear? Very well, give it to me. Ah, no, thanks. Are all magicians like this? Apollo? What was that look just now? I was just thinking how hard it is to get any information out of a magician. Hey, look at this. I was wondering if you could tell me about this. Ah! Why, that bears the Grammari seal! Uncle Valent? Is something wrong? Trucy, where did you get this? Huh? Daddy gave it to me. Your daddy? My partner Zack No, my other daddy, Phoenix Wright! Why now? Why would your Lord Daddy? Lord Daddy? That's kind of stretching the whole archaic thing a bit. The signature upon the back. Do you recognize it? That belongs to none other than Zack Grammari. What? Daddy signed this? Might I be so bold as to open it? I'm sorry, but I can't let you do that. What's in this envelope, I wonder? Alright. I'm out of here. The Piss Magician is sus. That's 20 minutes we've been waiting here. 20 minutes! Maybe I should complain? I'm sure that guard has better things to do than stand there pretending he doesn't see us. You know, the minute we get angry, the client will show. Hello, fellow Eternus! It always works that way. Like shouting, "Ooh, waiter!" and they're standing right behind you. Oh, guard! Is our client going to be much longer? What are you talking about? Have you already started the meeting yet? Huh? Ah! Where'd you come from? Well, anyway, please have a seat. I'm nervous, Apollo. It's the silence. It builds suspense. Why don't you do something, Trucy? You're a magician, aren't you? That's right! Okay. I'm the amazing Mr. Hat! Ah! She passed out! Miss Magic Underwear might have been a better bet. That's magic panties, Apollo! Okay. Hang on, I need to blow my nose. My nose has been blown. As you may have guessed, I have a very nasally voice, so typically, when my nose gets stuffed, it's like, I can't fucking talk! Hi! Well, I'm your defense. I really think it has to be fate, you know? And by fate, I mean destiny. Did you know I'm good with astrology? Tell me, what's your sign? I can tell you mine if you'd like, Apollo. No, never mind. I just got carried away there. I seem destined to get difficult clients, it seems. Whoop. So... what's your name? Oh, right, I'm supposed to introduce myself first. I'm Apollo! Apollo Justice! And I'm Trucy Wright! I know. This is getting nowhere fast. Hey, I know. Maybe you can tell us what happened? I'm your defense attorney, after all. Anything out of the ordinary happened lately? Well, the other day, this tourist from out of town stopped to ask me directions. Later, Trucy. I feel like I need to ask directions myself here. Well, that was fruitless. She has a big notebook and doesn't talk. Though I think I understand despair a little better now. You did good, Apollo! Look! She's doing your nails! What? Are nails more important than defense? Is that it? Let's go, Trucy. I did not sound offended enough. Excuse me. Could you read this? Sure. I feel like a teenager on a first date. And this is the love letter he passed from desk to desk at school. Apollo. Stop looking so wistful and read it, Apollo! It's a business card with a name and an address. The name is Vera Mission? The address is for Drew Studio. Here is card added to the court record. And you're giving me this card because... Well, looks like we're finished here. I wonder if Drew Studio is the scene of the crime? Let's go find out. Let's go. Wow, this looks like... It looks like a studio. It's like life imitating art, or maybe it's the other way around. But the tape on the ground there, it's a bit jarring. Yeah, looks like we found our crime scene. Apollo, look at all those paintings! Hey, don't touch those. It's okay, I'm just looking. Huh? Apollo, look at this one. Looks half finished. You can still see the rushed sketch underneath. But that's odd. The rough part doesn't look like the rest of the painting at all. Yeah, good point. That is odd. There's those paintings. All the paintings have a really different style, too. Ah! I thought I might find you two here. Emma! Long time no see! Oh? Seems like I run into you far too often. I'll bet I know why you're here, too. You know about the trial simulation tomorrow? I've heard about it, sure. So Mr. Wright chose you, huh? Yeah, it's Crunch and Munch! We don't even know about what the case is about. Well, he was killed. The artist who owns the studio, that is. Mr. Drew Misham. And his daughter was put under arrest. Yeah, we just saw her at the detention center. It was funny, though. She seemed more like a victim than any kind of person who could commit murder. You don't say. Not even by poisoning? That's how it was done, you know? Poisoning is a common way to get the job done when the murderer is a woman. But poisoning? Anyway, Mr. Wright told me you'd be coming. Feel free to take a look around. I'll just be over here with my snackoos. Can't talk to anyone related to this case this time around. But you'd better find out as much as you can here at the scene. Or else. What does that mean? Oh, I forgot I had night button here. I'll look at the painting. I wouldn't mind taking a closer look at those paintings. Nightbot always scares me. I'm just like, who is this? I just love oils. You know why they're so thick? Oh, you know how they're so thick? Is that the word? These paints are all dry. I'm just surprised at how different these all are. Yeah, and what's going on with this half-finished one? It must have been a work in progress. You can still see the rough sketch below. That's what's so weird. The sketch part doesn't really fit the finished parts. I noticed. That is weird. Hey man, sometimes you use the same canvas twice. It happens. Hey! There's a painting hidden back here. Hey, you're right. What if it's embarrassing somehow and he didn't want anyone to see it? You certainly seem pleased by the possibility. Huh. It's so normal. That's hardly something to get mad about. Huh? What is it, Apollo? Well, doesn't this painting look like... Never mind. Hmm? The sketch doesn't match the final story of my life, bro. Yeah. Better get a professional opinion on this. Ah, that's the victim's coffee mug. Aha! So the poison was in here! This is my first time seeing a real poison mug of coffee. I would hope so. Poison coffee? Oh my god, my laptop is dying. I always forget to plug my laptop in before I start streaming. What is wrong with me? Poison coffee? Not- shut up. Shut up, Windows. Be gone. Poison coffee? Not exactly, actually. What do you mean? No traces of poison were found around the coffee. Found in the coffee. What? You'll have to figure out the rest yourself. I'm officially not on your side, after all. Okay. I want to look at my evidence. Wait, fuck. Did they poison his paint? Oh boy, try to remember how to use this fucking thing. Show me this blue. Hey, look here! That stain doesn't look so healthy, Apollo. That must be the Blue Mountain stuff we've been hearing about. Something tells me that even Blue Mountain coffee isn't this blue. No, the stain is probably... better ask Emma. How do I present the cup to her? Back. Back. Emma, about this mug. There's a pale blue, residue on the rim. That! Yes, well, it's just a rumor. But I've heard there's a kind of coffee called Blue Mountain. I'm pretty sure it isn't actually blue, Emma. Ah, right. Okay, you got me. That's left over from my testing spray. Forensic science! I knew your hobby was behind this somehow, Emma. It's not a hobby. So what kind of scientific stuff were you up to? This spray, that's what. It turns blue when it touches poison. It seems very general. So the poison that killed the victim was on this mug? I do wonder if, like, every type of poison has, like... Wait, no, it's carcinogenic, isn't it? That's, like, the poison thing. So Trici's calling it a hobby because she's not actually a forensic scientist, she's just a detective, and she buys all of her forensic science gear, like, with her own money. She's not actually salaried for forensic science. So the poison that killed the victim was on this mug? That's right, see? It wasn't in the coffee. The killer applied it to the rim of the mug itself. Wow, science is amazing! It certainly is helpful. Maybe Emma would be willing to help us out a bit more. You should try buttering her up, Apollo. They say flattery will get you everywhere. It's certainly worth talking to her a bit more. Yeah, Emma could help us out here. Don't forget, flattery will get you everywhere with her, Apollo. Huh? What are you two whispering about? Well, I was thinking... I mean, what is it we always do when we run into you at a crime scene? What? What is it we always do scientifically? Ah, you know me too well. Okay. Okay, meaning we can get, scientific now? Oh, I suppose. Just this once. Bring me anything you find suspicious and we'll check it out. Okay. Will she take the coffee? Okay, this is the same. Drink break. Wow, that segment was really long. About poison analysis. I was afraid you were going to ask that. See, this solution is used to test for oh boy. Atroquinine. That is probably not. It's probably like atroquinine or something. Atroquinine! The deadly poison found in the autopsy! Uh-oh. I know that spark in her eyes. She's getting excited. Best tread lightly. It's one of the most virulent poisons, but it's absorbed into the body astonishingly slowly. It takes at least 15 minutes for the time of ingestion for adverse effects to show. But oh, and guess what? Recent research has shown... that's fine, really. We don't need to know all the gory details. I want them. I think I get it. You just spray the stuff on something you want to test, right? Precisely. You can find even the slightest trace of poison with this. I want to try too, Emma. Pretty please? You don't have to ask twice. I already used it on everything suspicious, of course. Yay! Let's give it a whirl, Apollo! Ah! What are you doing? I was just seeing if I got a reaction off of you. How's this for a reaction? Never do that again. I'm not poisonous. Tell that to those hapless witnesses on the stand. Let's just get down to checking for real poisons, shall we? Oh boy, spurt spurt. Ooh. Oh, there's another part of the room. This spray bottle is gonna be empty. Oh. Is that... I can't tell that was a reaction or if that was always there. Real help. Spray detection regent. Commands for gamers. Oh fuck. There's also people in Apollo's life that bite. I wouldn't be surprised if he was poisonous. Oh, that bite it. That die. That's true. Do I have to be zoomed in? Too bad. No reaction there. I'm sure Emma checked out all the likely spots. Wait a second. What is it, Apollo? Did you spray that little desk over there? I did, very thoroughly. I don't think so. The spray bottle probably can't reach that far, you know? This place is gonna be drenched. Let's check it out just to be sure. Okay, I had to activate it. Oh. I found the poison. Ah! A reaction, Apollo? Ah? Where? The inside of that cute little frame, look! Well, would you look at that? Nice going, Trucy! I'm known to work magic. Never mind that I was the one who found it. Tiny frame. Court record. Why would the inside of that frame have poison on it? It looks like we found the only other place that was poisoned in any case. Okay. I didn't funny examine the room at all. Let's take a closer look. Hey, Apollo, what's this feather thingy? Isn't that a pen? Like an old-fashioned quill pen? But it doesn't have a pointy end. Kissed the frame with his poisoned lips. That was most likely for sweeping detritus off the desk. Wow, you sure know a lot, Emma. Bold and scientific. That's my motto. Exactly what was bold or scientific. Is this a journal? Wow, talk about a clue! Let's read it. What is it, Apollo? He didn't write the name of the killer, did he? It's new. He didn't write a single line. Ah, you had me going for a while there. So this is Drew Mission? And this little girl must be Vera. Yes, they took that some years ago. They look close. A happy little family. Until you arrested his daughter. Ah! Look, I was personally against that, okay? She just didn't seem very suspicious, scientifically speaking. Uh-huh, right. Does this thing have a face on it? Or am I looking at... Oh, there's crud on my screen that made it look like it had a face. Something about the way that figure is posed. I've seen that pose before. It's you, Apollo. See, you're making one of your flamboyant gestures. Please, I'm a professional. I wonder why it's posed like that. Coincidence? Flamboyant gesture. Ah. I wonder why there's poison on this tiny frame. Very strange indeed. Wait, I know! I'll bet it was poison from the time we bought it. Haven't you heard about some kinds of green paint being toxic? I don't think they sell that kind anymore, and the poison was atrocinine anyway. Tiny mysterious poison frame. Tiny frames are so cute. Anyone else agree with me? Also, what the fuck is happening over here? What is all this equipment here for? It doesn't look very artistic, really. They had everything from a latch to a laser cutter. A lathe. Looks like he was ready to work on metals and wood, too. Okay. Though his equipment's a bit old, to tell the truth. Why would a painter need all this? From the dust, I'd say he hadn't used this stuff for years. This corner doesn't fit very well with the rest of the studio. Oh, do you think I could borrow this? I want to cut a quarter in half to make a trick coin. This is a crime scene, Trucy. But these cost like $50 at the magic shop. Does yield the same dialogue? Is this for painting, Apollo? That would be a drafting table. Drafting? Basically, it's a tool for making precise diagrams. Wow, painting is harder than I thought. Why would a painter need a drafting table? Was he an architect too? Hey Apollo, you can use those for anything. I wish my drafting table went up more. Mine has only got like a slight angle, and it is not as useful as it could be if it could go deeper. Look at all these paints, Apollo. Oh, that's paint. Okay. There's so many. He's got like 20 kinds of red. We could repaint your suit, Apollo. How about this shade of green? That'll be enough of that, thanks. I love how much Apollo loves his bright ass red. It's very cute. I love him. Oh wait, this is gonna activate the pacing. No. Letterbox looks funny sitting inside a room like this. Let's take a look. Empty. The other half of that letterbox is actually connected to the outside of the studio. Mr. Mission would put his letters in there. You're paranoid the figure is pointing at something on the drafting table? I don't think so. The thing about Ace Attorney is that its backgrounds are not usually that clever. I don't know if there's, well, at least out of the ones I played, I don't know if there's any Ace Attorneys where the background is like actually like implying something, but also these games are fucking long. And I think when did I get into Ace Attorney? 2018? 2018? 2019? 2019 I think is too recent. It was probably 2018. I don't remember. It was something like that. Because if I remember right, I think I went 2018, excuse me, I think I went Ace Attorney and then Mob, and was Season 2 of Mob 2019? I don't remember. What? You can just look at my fucking archive and figure it out. Impressive that someone still writes letters in this day and age. Or wrote, rather. But yeah, I mean, I do love a good point and click where the everything is everything. Ah, Apollo! That's where the body was! That's the spot where Mr. Drew Mission passed away. He put the coffee mug to his lips, and the next moment, there's quite a bit of paint on the ground. See that half-painted painting there? He must have been working on that right up to the moment he died. Wow! A true artist to the end! Or maybe he started it a year ago and was procrastinating. Worm. Me too, buddy. God, there's all these canvases back here. I think we probably looked at most of the room. Closer look at the— oh! Oh, I see. I activated its hitbox. Will they respond to this again? Alright, time to shove items in Emma's hands. Look at these, Emma. Wait. Oh, I'm in check mode. Well, let's at least look at these. Pew. Oh, I don't get very deep. Paulo, look at this painting. You can see the rough sketch. Oh, looks like it was only half completed. Huh? That's funny. Did the rough sketch and the finished painting look totally different to you, Pooh? But they do actually. What's that all about? Can I look at this? Wait, I forgot I can like turn them around. Can I look at the desk and think about Apollo Limpress moments? Yeah, there's like an edit, like there's a post of that on Tumblr. And someone edited it to have the the figure limping its wrist. Can't really check it, I can just stare at it. It's really good. It's on my personal under my Ace Attorney tag if anyone wants to go find it. You don't have to though. Oh, Emma, I was wondering about this painting here. Ah! That one? What about it? What about it? Yeah, what about it, Apollo? Take a closer look at it, both of you. Now, look at this one. This is the third painting he was working on. Hey, they're the same! I was hoping you wouldn't find that. You're right, though. Drew Mission was copying this painting. Wow, it's pretty good! Copying a painting? What for? Okay. Emma, about this painting. Oh, that? Quite good, isn't it? That's not what I wanted to ask you about. You want to examine it, is that it? I'd be happy to let you if you had good reason. But without that, sorry. I guess she wants us to do a little footwork on our own first. Okay. This painting, quite good. They're all probably like that. Do we have— I mean, I guess I can present the frame to her, but I was wondering if you could take a look at this. Yeah, this seems generic. Need a little bit more focused in your inquiries. Look at this tiny plane. Oh. Okay. Oh, I didn't finish talking to her. So, this, Drew Mission was some kind of artist? Apparently. Did a lot of illustrations for books, I hear. Had a lot of female fans, too, for what it's worth. Oh? Well, I guess his stuff is kind of pretty. Like that oil painting over there, for instance. Yeah. That wasn't one of his illustrations, actually. Huh? So it was a standalone painting or something? Is that what she means? He was an odd bird, Misham. Hadn't shown his face to anyone until the end. Emma's really cute. I love her design. Every design she gets is really, really good. What do you mean to anyone? He was always locked up in here in his studio, apparently. His only connection to the outside world was through letters he'd put in that letterbox there. Letters? Do people still write letters? What do you mean, Apollo? Apollo, people still get mail! I mean, when was the last time you wrote a real letter? To be fair, these games take place in like 2026 or whatever. Don't most people use email and stuff these days? Don't most people use Discord and stuff these days? Not Mr. Misham. Couldn't stand technology, it seems. He did everything by mail. Maybe he thought that way was more artistic, you know? To be fair, he was a physical artist, so you kind of have to do your work through the mail. A lot of times, I mean, if you have a scanner, you can put some of it through, but home scanners don't really do paintings very well. Well, it depends on the scanner. In any case, the only person besides him allowed in here was his daughter, Vera. Oh, you mean the killer? The suspect, please. We took some fingerprints, of course. The only ones found in the room were Mr. Misham's and Vera's, basically. Basically? Actually, last night, Mr. Misham gave an interview to a reporter for the first time. It happened during the interview, apparently. His first interview ever? Could you tell us a bit more about what happened the night of the murder? No, we're talking about the defendant. So, this woman, Vera, she's Mr. Misham's daughter, right? Yep, a real sickly girl ever since she was little. Hardly ever went outside. She did kind of give up a withdrawn sort of aura. She was homeschooled by her father, apparently. It was quite a scene when they took her to the detention center. She was screaming about how she'd die if they took her outside. That does sound like a scene. In the end, she agreed to leave if she was allowed her good luck charm for company. Her good luck charm? Apparently, she has this charm that magically gives her the courage to go outside. Why can't I ever get a normal client? Apollo, be nice. But why would a shut-in daughter kill her own dad? Don't look at me. So, about the poison. It was found to be in this coffee, right? No, not precisely. Not precisely? What does that mean? It means see for yourself, I think. I love every time at the beginning of a case, every information you get, it's like, I don't like the sound I get! Like I said, last night was the first time someone from the outside came into the studio. I guess mysterious painters who never go outside make for good articles. And it just so happened that he died the night of his first interview? At around 9 PM every night, Vera always made him a cup of coffee. 9 PM coffee, huh? Last night, he drank his usual coffee and suddenly became violently ill. And died? She poisoned him on the night of his interview? Wouldn't the reporter see? He wasn't near Mr. Mission when she brought his father her coffee. Her father his coffee. He was checking out some Excuse me. He was checking out some equipment in the back of the room. Supposedly, that's why she didn't notice he was there. It was the reporter who called the police, in fact. Wait, but why is she the suspect? If anyone is suspicious, it's the reporter. Yet the reporter never got near Mr. Misham's coffee. Even Vera acknowledges that. Regardless, I want to know more about this reporter. I mean, I can leave. Do I have anything I could show Vera? I mean, the paintings, I guess, and the coffee and everything. Vera, can I still talk to you? Fuck. Ah, you're here to see Vera Misham? Yes, that's right. She's in the medical office at the moment. Medical office? Is she okay? She's just lying down. Said she didn't feel so good. I'm sorry, but I can't allow any meetings at the moment. Most annoying client ever. Guess we should come back. I don't know, Apollo! I don't know if she's the most annoying client ever. Wait, no. Oh, let's look at him. Same old security guard is glaring at us. He winked. Maybe he's not such a bad guy after all. Okay, Apollo. Mr. White. Mr. White. I don't think there's anything. Time to run around and find out where I need to be. Not here. Fuck. And whopping flames. I was thinking an obvious pun with Misham drew for an artist. I genuinely have no idea if their names are puns. Someone who's familiar with the game is welcome to go on the wiki. People unfamiliar with the game should not go on the wiki because the dirty wiki is really bad. Oh, I didn't examine this further, though. I don't know what much all there is. Oh, can I undo the screws? Looks like— oh, well, it's not screws. Looks like you have to take this back part off to first put a photo inside. It'd have to be a really small photo to fit in there. True, and that pale blue stain. Why would there be a poison in a paste like this? Well, there's one obvious reason. Whoever put poison in the coffee rubbed a bit on here too. Why? That's not very obvious, Trucy. Okay. I can check the letterbox? Oh, okay, she's looking at it. Maybe they just got their grubby poison fingers on it when removing the photo or whatever. I don't think the killers wash their hands, that's the law. Yeah, killers don't know what personal hygiene is. Wow, looky here, a handwritten signature. It says... I can't read it. That seems odd to me. I mean, isn't the signature intended to show ownership? What's the use if no one can read it? Isn't it enough if you can read your own? Oh, I never thought of it that way! What a pretty business card. Looks like a postcard almost. And on the back, just her name. Seems odd to me. Huh? What does? Why were your name in the front and back of the card? Why not use the space on the back for a self-portrait or a caricature? Then people would remember what you look like too. That's not a bad idea, actually. Here, give me one of your cards, Apollo. She's drawing something. Hey, my hair's not that spiky. I want to see it. I want to see it. It reminds me of ooh, what case is that? The second game? I think? Yeah, the second game. When Maya had that, like, playing card and drew a little picture of Nick, of Phoenix, on it. It was really cute. Can I look at the backs of these? I don't think so. Oh, what do we have here? It's like a person thinking about something. Maybe they're worried? Like, what should I have for supper? A hot dog or a hamburger? You know, I've always wondered about that. Why is there supper and dinner? Are they different meals or the same thing? Maybe that's what this person's thinking about. Can I check this one? Boop. Is that a pufferfish? Apollo, that's clearly a porcupine fish. They're not the same thing? You know what gets me? They've got all these needles, right? We're American! We have hot dog or hamburger for dinner, yeah. But, what's protecting that soft spot on the lower belly there? Nothing! You must remember to keep Trissy away from small round fish. Yeah, okay. I think I examined most of these. Oh, we've hit that point of the game already. Alright, let me open my phone. Follow just says attorney walkthrough. Where is it? I just like have it open in my phone browser. Turnabout secession. What? Ah! We're going to test for poison again? Why not? Just to be sure. But you found your clue already. Isn't that enough? This stuff isn't cheap, you know. I bet she doesn't have a lot of spending money. I bet she spends it all on snackers. Okay. What? Fuck. It's not cheap and we already used 3/4 of this bottle, yeah. You're... I don't have eyes. This envelope has been opened and resealed. Ooh, I know how to do that! You take a pot of boiling water and hold the envelope up to the steam. The glue melts and it opens. Cool, huh? Whoever did this wasn't so delicate. You're right. Looks like they just ripped it open and stuck it back together. Huh? The postmark on this letter is from 7 years ago. Why would someone open a letter then seal it again? I better hang on to this. That's male felonies. Yeah, she's with a lawyer. Is that a California residence? I see CA. If I remember correctly, like, Ace Attorney consistently, in the localized version, takes place in California. Paula, look! It's been opened once here. You're right. I wonder if there's some way we can see what's inside? Should I try to get it open and stick it back shut? Let's not tamper with the evidence, shall we? I've got a better idea. Emma! Let's ask her! Alright, Emma, come here. Science. No, fuck. I wish you could present just from the court record. I understand why you can't, though. No. Emma, about this... Oh! That! Yes, why, that's a bright red envelope. She sure is jumpy. Someone opened this, didn't they? My lips are sealed. Yeah, your lips are sealed? That's a first. You mean you know what's inside the envelope? Sure. I read it after all. Ah! You mean you were the one who ripped this open? Ha! Please. I would have steamed it open. But she did sneak a peek at it, apparently. Know that I have a powerful weapon on my side. Weapon? Yes! The use of tools! Highly specialized tools for information gathering. Girl, where were you keeping this? Where was she keeping this? Tools I wouldn't mind getting my hands on. Everyone is so casual with male felonies. You should try flattering her, Apollo. They say a little praise can open big doors. I mean, I guess when someone's dead and it's evidence, potential evidence in a case, you can do whatever the fuck you want if you're a cop. You can do whatever the fuck you want if you're a cop normally. Never heard that one, but it's good advice. Let's try talking to her some more. About that envelope we found. I was wondering if you could help us out with that tool you were mentioning. Hey, you want to know about my tool, do you? It's called an X-ray analyzer. X-ray? Like the X-rays you get at the dentist? That's right! At least that's what I call it. Huh? It has a real name, but it's much more complicated. The X-ray spectralization... something. How am I supposed to remember all that? So basically it lets you see inside things. Like envelopes? That's right! You're sharp, Trucy. But it's a bit more complicated than that, in practice of course. Actually, to tell the truth, I'm not really sure how it works scientifically. Can I try it out, Emma? Please? Oh, I suppose. Of course, I've already checked out everything is suspicious myself. Alright, let's give it a spin, Apollo! Yeah! What are you doing? Oh, just seeing if I could see through your hair. But it's like lead. Point that thing at me anymore and I might fall out. Point that thing at me anymore and it might all fall out. Then I would need an X-ray machine to see through it. Let's just get down to business, shall we? Why was she... Right, let's test it on a sample first. It just so happens that I have a lottery ticket here. I love just fucking lottery ticket being stamped on it in like fucking impact font. You set the sample in the device like so. I don't see anything. Patience. There's no need to get all antsy. Look at the right side of the screen. That's the layer view of the envelope. Layer view? We've got it set to display the outside of the envelope now, see? Actually, it's quicker to just have you give it a try. Turn that dial there for me, would you? That's right. That's how you choose what depth you want to scan. Hey, I got something! See? That's how you can read the letters on the ticket inside. Cool, huh? Except I can't read them. Just turn the dial a little more. What you have to understand is that a sheet of paper isn't really flat at all. When you zoom in that much, you see that paper is like a bunch of hills and valleys. Wow, really? This X-ray device uses a beam with a wavelength of only 0.05 microns. It breaks cards down into thin layers, so it can only show what's written on that layer. I'm not entirely following you, but what good is it if you can't read anything? That's why we go on to step 2! Try rubbing the image a bit, if you would. The image? You mean rub the screen? Can I rub it? There. That fixes the image to the screen. Now turn the dial again, just a little. Good. Now you can rub this image to fix it too. Hey, I get it! We just keep doing this until we've got the whole thing. Exactly. Not bad. Neat! Let's do some more. It's a pretty good rubbing noise. Oh god. Oh, this doesn't like it. You lose. It's not enough? Wow, it really hates being controlled with a mouse. I really love this as a game mechanic, it's fun. Okay, let's print this one out. Ouch, you lose. At least you know where you stand, eh? Anyway, now you see the true hidden power of my weapon. Neat, huh? Now let's try it on a real thing, shall we? Let's do it. Let's put this one out. Someone deposited 100,000 into Mr. Misham's account? His paintings must be really valuable. There's another page in here. Care to take a look? You bet I do! If you're going to read someone's mail, you might as well read it all! Jersey! Here goes with the second page, then. I wish someone would have deposited $100,000 in my account. For legal. Only legal work. Legal payment. Okay, let's print this one out. I should probably be reading that, but... So it was a letter about payment for one of his paintings. Why all the secrecy, though? And what? Why was this letter the only one in here? It's 7 years old, right? Maybe it had some special significance to him. Well, Emma? Ugh. Well, indeed. She knows something she's not telling us. Looks like she's keeping mum about it. So, Emma, I was wondering, what's the story about this reporter that came here for a story that ended the crime? Ah, I'm afraid I can't tell you because he's going to be a witness tomorrow, I hear. I thought so. I'll never forget that face. But what was his name? Oh, right. Brushel. Brushel. He's after a scoop to sell to the papers. So, a reporter comes for an interview with a painter. His first interview ever, and that night he's killed. Seems strange to you? Really strange. It does raise a few questions. I'd like to speak with this reporter if I could. Well, I hear he's on the beat today, too. He said something about covering a magician. Magician? Well, if it's not Trissy, that leaves only one other person. It wasn't Valid Grammar by any chance, was it? Yeah, something like that. He's got some big show lined up, I hear. So, he's out interviewing Valid Grammar. Looks like I'll be heading out to the Coliseum again sooner than I thought. Here, I'll give you that reporter's card if you want. I thought we can't talk to anyone in the case. Yeah, there's only 2 magicians in the world. There's 4 magicians in the world and half of them are dead. Emma, I want to look at things. Fuck. Can I look at it? Yeah, Mr. Drew Misham, well, fuck, oops. Mr. Drew Misham, I've deposited the 100,000 in the designated account. Please send a receipt once you've confirmed the transfer. Sign the papers and send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within 3 days. I need not remind you to speak of this to no one. Mysterious. Ack. This painting. Oh, that quite good. Want to examine it. I'd be happy to let you have had a good reason, but without that, sorry. Right. I need a reason. Can I have this with reason? It is sketchy as hell. This, I'll just don't even examine it. I'd be happy to let you have a good reason, but without that, sorry. Fuck. Okay. Let's go to the Coliseum. Never mind, we're not going to the Coliseum. We have unfinished business. What? Oh. No. I have the walkthrough open. So, a journalist was here on a story? All eyes in the universe are upon my stage. All pens seek to commit its mysteries to paper. His name is Brushel. Yeah, Ace Attorney is really hard to play without a walkthrough. Brushel. I think he remembers him. He doesn't look too happy about it. Brushel. That cloying smell of mint when he smiles, yes. Could you tell us more about him? What did he want? Okay. Mr. Brushel, the journalist. A man by that name called on me just now. Just now? Balance mission is always towards tomorrow. Mint when he smiles. It's very, smile for me lines. Balance feet step always forward. That is all. That's all. Very confusing. I am to perform a big magic show, yes? I wanted someone to cover it. Yet he had ears only for that incident. That incident? In any case, I requested that the rapacious reporter remove himself. So a painter has died. What of it? It is but a footnote in the footlights compared to the— What is a footlight? Is it like the lights on stage? compared to the magic of grammar, eh? Uncle Valen, do you know where the reporter went? I recommended he visit that place popular with penalized perpetrators. The detention center. He was a rude individual. Might I see that card? Sure. He would tear apart my respectability. I will tear apart him. Ooh, here it comes Apollo, Uncle Valen's big magic trick. He's going to fix the card? Not sure that qualifies as big magic. What happened to the big magic? Ah ha 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 ha. Is it not more miraculous for it to stay ripped? You must have really not liked that journalist. Now the time has come when I must return to make my prestidigitation preparations. By your leave, Miss Trucy. Thanks, Uncle Valen. 3 days from now, make ready for a miracle. Okay. What do you think that journalist was after? And why did I not react like that to this envelope? The lights are those lights that line the front of the stage and light the floor. Okay, okay. I think it's time to pay the detention center another visit. Let's go. I think I hear what you're saying. We're all doing it for the money. End quote. No, not at all. Looks like someone's already meeting here. Maybe that reporter? I hate this guy. Hey there, how you doing? Who might you be? This character is the one that, Ota from Aidsif, his dad reminds me of. Sorry, we didn't know someone was already here. I'm Apollo Justice, attorney at law. Talk about a nervous monkey. You? You're Justice? You? You know me? Do I know you? Of course I know you. Stares down witnesses on stand till they spill beans. End quote. That's not true. What's he writing? Are you a reporter by any chance? Woo! You? You're Trucy! Eh? Am I famous? Yeah, he's not good to look at. Oh yeah, oh yeah! Trucy Wright hates carrying a bag. Puts everything she owns in her panties, end quote. Ah! That's not true! Just hold on to your breeches there. I'll wrap this interview up in a jiffy. Interview? So, guard, I think I know what's going on here. Guarding rooms is my life. What else could I possibly need? End quote. No! How many times do I have to tell you this? Look, I've got work to do. You deal with him. Did you come here to interview the guard? Oh, wee, what a pickle. Accused wouldn't talk, had to interview someone or go plumb crazy. End quote. Uh-huh. I should have guessed. Where's my manners? Name's Brushel. Spark Brushel. If he's not the killer, he needs to go to turbo jail for existing. Yeah, he's not great to look at. I'm not picky. Journalist just closed his eyes. Writes. End quote. What's that nauseatingly strong mint smell every time he grins? Until you've been interviewed by me, you don't know what thrilling is. Wild romp through crossroads of mayhem. Madness. End quote. I can see that. He's writing something again. Well, if he's a reporter, maybe he knows something. I can see that like that. He's a reporter, maybe he knows something. So, Mr. Brushel, you're a journalist? Ah, me? Look, let me state one thing for the record here. Yes? I'm the interviewer. You understand, yeah? I'm the one asking the questions here. End quote. Okay. For instance, you think a movie director watches movies? Well, I think he probably does. Exactly! I knew you'd understand. Huh? So, the night of the murder, you were at True Studio? Who, me? Look, let me state one thing for the record. Okay. I'm really calm and collected, but I'm busy. Real busy. Always on the road. Journalist always buys one-way tickets. Never looks back. End quote. I can understand that philosophy, but... You want to know the thing about one-way tickets? Once you use them, they're gone. Not because you have to give them to the guy at the airport. True enough. But don't they give normal tickets away too? Exactly. See? It's the same thing. What is? So, you want to do a story on your mission? And he never had a story down about him before? That's right! Look, let me state one thing for the record here. What? I'm sure you're going to want to know about my source. What tipped me off to Drew? Why I did the interview in the first place? Well, yes. Look, it's like... Oh, I've got it! Say there's this burger joint with fabulous ketchup. You think the burger guy is going to tell me where he got it? At the supermarket, maybe? Exactly. See? That's what I'm talking about. I think I may have actually understood that one. Well, there's nothing I can talk about, really. Walls have ears, eyes, especially glass walls with speakers. End quote. Right. Guess we'll leave then. Ah, but since you're here, might as well tell you a tidbit of news I saw, just for the heck of it. Sure, tell us, just for the heck of it. I remember it like it was yesterday. I'd seen a movie on a trip and wandered into this burger place with amazing ketchup, when an article in a tabloid caught my eye. Famous oil painting stolen from art dealer's gallery, end quote, I believe it was. An oil painting? Happens every day, right? No, it doesn't! But I thought I'd seen that painting somewhere before. A painting of a giant peach floating down a river. Someone stole an oil painting of a giant peach. Journalists can smell scoop better than burgers, end quote. Okay. Do I present it? I don't think that's smart. I don't think that's smart. Hey Emma, I have a reason. Well, how'd it go? Find anything out? Actually, there was one thing I wanted to check with you. Forgery plot! What's with that scary face you're making? What's with the I know something but I'm not telling face you've got going, Emma? Yeah, Brushel is very bad to look at and I do not like him and I do not like spending any time with him. I hate him. There's some characters in Ace Attorney where it's like, oh, you hurt to look at. I want to look at this one. I have a reason without that, sorry. I guess she wants to do a lift for work. I have a reason! This painting came from behind that dresser. Ah, yes. So, it was stolen, no? I was hoping you wouldn't figure that out. Do you think you could tell us a bit about this? I suppose. It's what you think. Drew Misham was a forger. A forger? Talk to me. Talk to me, Emma. So, what exactly is a forger? Well, basically, it's someone who makes forgeries. Fakes, in other words. Fakes? Copies of an original. Why would Trucy not know what this is? Exact copies, so precise you can't tell them apart. Well, why not just photocopy them? The big problem with forgeries is that people try to sell them as the real article. It's a crime, of course. So, Drew Misham was... a criminal? I'm afraid so. He received money to create elaborate forgeries. To supplement his work on illustration, I guess. I see. Actually, that's why I brought this here in the first place. What do you mean? When you're trying to determine if a painting is a forgery, the rough sketch underneath can be a valuable clue. So the rough sketch is like practice for the real thing. Like doing a magic trick in front of a mirror before you go on stage. But not in the case of a forgery. Not necessarily, anyway. You know what the finished product is going to look like, after all. Oh, yeah, I guess you would. That's why I brought this. I'm gonna use it to see what's under the paint of the finished pieces. I get it now. Not that I really needed to go to such lengths, seeing as how one of the paintings was only half finished anyway. Still, it'd be neat to see Mr. Mission's rough sketches. Kind of like what he was drawing when he thought no one was looking. True. That would be interesting, and maybe valuable for our case. You should try buttering her up, Apollo. Flattery will get you everywhere, they say. Maybe we should ask him to help us out. Emma! No, not move. Actually, let's do the motor order. I kind of wanted to see the rough sketch under this painting. And I was wondering if your tool there might be do the trick? Oh, fine, fine. Just this time, though. Let's check it out! Oh, okay. I want to see all of them. This is gonna take a bit. It's a really good rub noise. Ah, the gambler. Let's put this one out. What the heck? Wow, he really blows! The finished painting isn't anything like the rough. Trissy. Devices like mine didn't exist until recently. He probably thought he could draw any sort of thing he wanted for the rough. What do you mean? Well, in the past, you could only analyze the composition of a rough sketch. Composition? In other words, the traces of charcoal between the painted canvas. So you could tell if there had been a rough sketch, but not what it looked like. Ah, I think I follow you. I do not, like, I know that this guy is like a genius painter or whatever. I do not see the sense in just drawing whatever the fuck and not at least like making the rough outline of what it is you are painting. I don't get it. So in essence, it wouldn't matter what was underneath the finished painting. Some pros would actually paint out a rough sketch entirely, then do a completely new painting on top of that. So Mr. Mission was drawing whatever he wanted before painting over them. Possibly. Is there a problem with that? Not particularly, but something about the sketch itself looks kind of odd. You're awfully silent all of a sudden, Apollo. You think we could check out one of the other paintings? Well, sure. You like this detection stuff, don't you? Yeah, I love the detection minigames, they're fun. I would love like a point-and-click game with like these forensic mechanics and like none of the courtroom shit. Like just to take the concept of like all of these like basically mini games and put them in a point-and-click visual novel, I think it'd be fun. I would play it. There's probably a game out there like that, really. Did I get one? House? Let's print this one out. This one too. What's wrong, Apollo? You look so serious all of a sudden. You think I could just look at the last of these? Fine by me. Knock yourself out. Man, I miss like DS games where it's with all these interactables. It's fun. I mean, I guess there's still like games that do that. Like even Chicory, like you just draw in it. It's fun to do it. Let's print this one out. What the heck is all this? I hesitate to ask why you're getting so excited. You sure your device isn't leaking some kind of strange radiation? Trosy, look at these 3 sketches. Do you not notice anything? Oh, Nightbot. Ah! Now you're both white as sheets. What's going on? These sketches are of the 3 cases I worked on. What? The murder in the poker room at the Borscht Bowl Club. The dead man pulling the noodle stand. And then... the events that transpired during the Gaviner's concert. That's our crimes! What could it mean? How could he have painted those things? And why? That's what I want to know! Wait, is Drew Misham your father? Give me a break! Does that seem even remotely possible to you? Smiling in A6. I'd never even heard of any Drew Misham before. I hadn't even seen a picture of him. But there were my cases drawn on his canvas. Every single one of them. It couldn't have been a coincidence. Just who was this Drew Misham? And what did he have to do with me? To be continued. I am gonna keep going, but I'm gonna reach over to the side of my desk and open food. What BRB screen do I have right now? Oh, it's Minecraft. Yeah. I'm gonna eat this. It'll take me not long, so I'll just like make music happen in... oh, no. Hang on. How long till music? That long. Good morning. I'm going to eat food. I'm not gonna bother muting myself. I'll just put my microphone up. It'll take like not that long. Oh, I didn't realize I didn't fix my chat on my BRB. Oops. It's up there now. Crying at your comments, Nick. eat a slice of pizza bread. I am sated. Nope, that's the wrong screen. That's not. Nope. Yahoo! Alright. Good morning! So, you're Vera, right? I'm Trissy. Trissy Wright. That's right, with a W. But not right, right? We're on your side. Excuse me. You can tell us anything, please? Good morning. She speaks. Not bad, not bad. But I think you do better with a little smile, you know? You're so pretty. You need to sell yourself, you know? Trissy. Trissy, let's take it easy for starters. Trissy, don't go telling other women to do this. It's already bad enough out here. Thank you for taking my case. Oh. Okay, well, that's a start, I guess. There she goes with the nail polish again. You can't just tell women they're prettier when they smile, yeah. It's crime. That's great, really. It's so cultured. Want to try? Oh, really? Ah, girls. Apollo. The victim. I really love her, like, opening the sketchbook drawings, right? It's really good. I want to, like, put a mechanic like that in a game someday. It's fun. I like it. The victim Dermission was a forger, and a stolen painting was found in his studio. Life of crime, really. And maybe one that led to his death. It's October 8th. Hi, Clavier. Well, we will now, begin the, trial of the Vera Misham. Is the judge okay? His voice is all raspy and he's looking around all nervous like. The repercussions of today's trial will most likely be felt for a long time, and may indeed alter our legal system forever. Today is the test of the juris system, and the first step towards a new order in their courts. Daddy's secret mission! The jurists will function like a jury. It is hoped their inclusion will help the courts to better reflect the people's will. Why aren't there any jurists in the courtroom? 3 closed-circuit cameras watch the courtroom at all times. The jurists have access to everything that transpires. Jurists! Judge Well and Judge Cool. Now see here, Prosecutor Gavin. I was going to say that. My apologies, Herr Judge. Jurists! Today, judge today's trial coolly, if you would be so kind. Is she just gonna fucking jank the judge or what? Why is he so nervous? I think it's just a stage fright. The jurists are unbound by the letter of the law. They don't affect the trial with evidence, but by their feelings. And we're about to find out just what effect they're going to have. Excuse me. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin. The details of the case, if you would. The victim is the painter Drew Mission. He was killed in his own studio. His coffee was poisoned. By whom, you ask? By none other than the defendant, Vera Misham. There wasn't any poison in the coffee! Excellent. Someone has been doing their homework. Indeed. Poison was not present in the coffee, but on the mug itself. The mug? Oh, residue was found on the rim, I see. The autopsy report describes the manner of our victim's death. The court accepts this as evidence. According to this report, I know I missed him, big sexy Clavier. The victim's death was caused by atroquinine poisoning, a chemical compound that does not occur naturally. Lethal dosage is as a mere 0.02 milligrams. A touch of atroquinine in the body is the touch of the Reaper's scythe. That is an insane poison. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin. You may present your witness. I have for you today a simple man for a simple case. A man who witnessed the murder in its entirety. That journalist, no doubt. I don't want to see him. The witness will state his name and occupation. Ah, right! Well, for starters, my name's Spark Brushel. My job is a lone observer of the world. In other words, a freelance journalist, right? I looked over at my phone and reflexively made heart eyes at Clever. Yeah. I'll swim for a rockstar like a basic bitch. Who cares? Clever, hot. He is. He's very handsome. If you don't mind, I'd like to state something here for the record. Yes, Mr. Brushel? I dislike conclusions, specifically the jumping to aspect of conclusions. Preconceptions make park sandbox endless desert waste. End quote. But you are a journalist. You said so yourself yesterday. Well, that's true, yes. But you must understand, I stand before you today as a man with a dream. I'm offering you my testimony in exchange for exclusive rights to the story. Scoop turns Mr. Brushel into that Mr. Brushel, end quote. Let's hear your testimony then, shall we? A simple case, eh, Gavin? For me, the jury is still out. Let's go. I visited the studio around 9 o'clock that night to do an interview. Yeah, I hate this guy. The first... can't wait for him to be locked out. I hope he dies on the stand. Ah! The first outsider to enter the atelier. Journalistic history made, unquote. His daughter brought us coffee right after we started. And you know what happened next. Star falls, end quote. No one else entered the room besides her the whole time. I don't know this, like, booby pose he's doing. I don't get it. That does sound like a simple case. Unless you were the one who poisoned him? What are you saying, Judge? Need I remind you the cameras are rolling today? I felt the need to be a bit dramatic. You didn't do it, did you? Me doing a thing like that? Come on, that's like newsmaker making the news, end quote. Or even contemporary witch hunt, end quote. I know, wild accusations rock courtroom, end quote. Rock, indeed. Prosecutor Gavin sure looks like he's having fun. I'm so happy for him. Very well, Mr. Justice, your cross-examination, please. Let's do it. What do you have to say about coffee? Would you mind being a little more specific? Ooh-wee, let me tell you, I enjoy a cuppa. In fact, it all began when I was in 3rd grade. No, wait, 4th grade. But that's not what I meant. I believe I know what Hair Forehead is driving at. This coffee the victim was served. Did anyone other than the defendant touch it? Right, that. That's what I was going to say, really. Well, now, if you've got a good question to ask, you'd best straight up ask it. That's what I tell all the new recruits, several times if necessary. Right for a grade schooler. That's my motto. Which isn't to say I can only... Who touched the coffee? Don't know. I was in the back looking at the studio's equipment when she served it. And what happened next? And you know what happened next. Star falls. What's this about a star falling? Star falls, huh? It's like an old telegram. Send money. Over. Zowie! You don't know? That's like a journalism code word. An important personage passes away. A star falls. Get it? But there's no gravity in space, is there? I wouldn't think stars could fall, really. Does this matter? Oh boy, this is good stuff. Good stuff. How about star breaks? Nah, Lex punch. I know. Star dies. Nah, Lex imagination. Of course, you could go with Drew dies. Straight to the point. I like it. I think we need to hear about something a little more substantial. Moment of death, Brushel's coffee, the star's coffee. Let's talk about death. About when Mr. Mission passed away. Oh boy, what a scene that was. He puts his coffee mug down with a crash, right? Yes, and then? Then the cold finger of death touches his spine. Life's flame sputters and falls. So cold was that touch, he could do naught but tremble uncontrollably. What happened to his writing for children? Actually, Life's flame is a little tired. Life's river froze over. Yes, that's a go! I think he's starting his article already. Could you describe that a little more simply? Well, as you can imagine, I was pretty surprised. He hit the floor, as they say. Artist seizure is final performance. End quote. Atropine paralyzes the central nervous system. The body arcs back like a bow, the limbs tremble, the throat burns. That's quite enough of that. Some of us want to be able to sleep tonight. Oh yeah? Well, I want details. Lots of juicy details. For that, you can listen to our last year's hit single, Atropine, My Love, by the Gavners. Available at all major music outlets. Stream Atropine, My Love. The point here is that the victim died of atropine poisoning. Well, Mr. Justice, how did you find that testimony? I literally don't remember what he said. I guess it's important. Well, as an account of the moment of the victim's death, I'd say it's very important. Please add it to the testimony. Very well. The court requests the witness to add this account to his testimony. I need a drink. Those spasms. That was definitely death by poison. Why do you know? You say it was definitely death by poison. How can you be so sure? Next time someone says there's no gravity in space, I'll bite someone. Hey, look, I'm a journalist. I've seen a lot of things. And I've had more than my share of experiences with so-called poisonings. Man eats fishy fish, goes bye-bye. End quote. Food poisoning doesn't count. Should I get her to talk about something else? Sure? Drank the coffee that Vera served you, too? Of course! When someone serves you coffee, you drink it. That's what my old boss always used to say. Never did get what he meant by it, though. But you're still alive, which is to say you didn't die. Of course not! No point falling before you're a star. End quote. That's not exactly what I was getting at. What were you getting at, then? You know the poison was on the rim, not in the coffee. Oh, yes, yes. There were 2 cups on the tray she brought. And one of the cups had Drew's signature painted on the side. No chance this guest would take that one by mistake, I guess. Well, Mr. Justice, was that testimony important? No. It was not. Partial drank coffee. Doesn't look like this is going to lead to much. Very well, please continue. No one else entered her room beside her. She makes it sound exciting. I guess that's his job. There's only one moment we need to focus on, really. The moment when Drew Bisham died? Exactly. There has to be something there. Ace Attorney really drives me wild. Like, literally knowing the answer. Not even because I played this before, literally knowing the answer. Because Emma fucking said it takes 15 minutes for atropine to work. And no one pointed that out after Apollo learned that. It's driving me wild. I don't remember when they bring that up. But I just want everybody to know I know exactly what the fucking problem is, and it's making me feel insane. He would not die instantly. Those spasms, death by poison. Anyway, we can learn about Mr. Man's coffee. Right? They literally tell us it when we're investigating. They really rarely give you, like, that clear of a detail, like, right away. And it's like, guys! She knows, and she probably helped write the fucking report. Why would no like, it's such a thing that, like, drives me wild about this case. Did you actually see him drink the coffee? Of course! He who sees it wins, but he who says it wins bigger. End quote. I live in a man sees dog eat dog and writes world about it world, yet. Yet? I guess I can't say I saw him drink it, really. He had one so-called sip, if that. Man puts lips to mug, drinks, end quote. That poison is quite virulent, I hear. My stomach did a so-called somersault, since I'd gulped down that much coffee without so much as a second glance at it. Wait, maybe something's there, some kind of so-called trick. Anyone want to venture a guess, for the record? I can make a fucking guess. Does this guy have a pause button? Well, Mr. Justice, did you find that testimony valuable? Yeah? Maybe? Victim drank his coffee, then immediately fell over. Yeah, that's important. Oh, yes, yes, you can go to press with that one. Your Honor, this is a vital piece of information. Please add it to the testimony. Very well, the witness will add this to his testimony. Vital? Right! Had one sip, if that. Next moment, he was on. Do I have any, like, testimony from... No. Of course I don't. So he either took a sip or he didn't, and then fell over? Oh yes, indubitably. Just like that. Wham bam! So Mr. Misham drank the coffee and fell over immediately. I think Marshall's telling the truth, too. Should I get him to talk about something else? No. No need. There's no real need to change the testimony. Problem with the testimony is already pretty obvious. Yeah, but I don't know what to do about it. Present? Well, it's not on the coffee. In the coffee. It's on the rim. Yay! You know what I have a problem with? A particular property of the poison. What? A particular property of the poison used, atropine. Oh, Prosecutor Gavin was quite clear about the poison. A lethal dosage of 0.002 milligrams paralyzes the central nervous system. If you drank that, even you, Mr. Justice, would be reduced to a quivering pile. Why are you using me as an example? Unfortunately, we weren't told everything. There was a vital omission in Prosecutor Gavin's information. An omission? Atropine is as virulent as he says. But death doesn't come upon ingestion, not immediately. That's because atropine is slow acting. Slow acting? What? According to one forensic scientist, it's one of the most virulent poisons, but is absorbed into the body astonishingly slow. It takes at least 15 minutes from the time of ingestion for adverse effects to show. Actually, it's probably something Clever like already knew, and he was just like,
I'm not gonna say it. They can just figure it out for themselves.
Because prosecutors are always doing this. If it's supposed that the moment Mr. Misham sipped the coffee was when he sealed his fate, then he would still have had time left to enjoy his last cup of joe. Ew, look at his sprite! God, he's so gangly. Order! What's the meaning of this? If what the defense says is correct, why? That contradicts the entire testimony we've just heard! Well, Mr. Brushel, anything to say on the record? Slow acting. S-L-O-W-A-C-T. It was virulent, alright. Even then, it had already begun dragging its claws into the journalist. He's working on his scoop. It's Brushel, yeah? Hair Brushel. Let's take a trip back. Hair Brushel. Let's take a trip back down memory lane. Huh? Did the victim really die the instant he took a sip? Think it over. This is vital. You know what I think? I think that was a not-so-subliminal suggestion. End quote. I admit it does cause a problem if he died when you say he died. I would be forced to say, auf Wiedersehen to my simple case. And you would be forced to say farewell to your article. Come again? You can't write a story based on conjecture, can you? And as the case drags on, other reporters will pick up the scent. And you'll be forced to kiss your exclusive scoop goodbye. Scoop? Scoop. Look, just wait a second, just 1 second. We're waiting, out with it. I think I just recalled a so-called important detail. A revival of recollection, end quote. A story survival, end quote. Attorney utterly confused, end quote. Actually, I did notice something when I visited the studio. I'd heard of poison that takes its sweet time, see? But not what I've been saying for the last few minutes, apparently. The toothbrush is really bad. Mr. Brushel, are you saying you noticed something that explains what happened? You bet I am! The antidote for a poisonous contradiction, end quote. You might say? Or, I still have no idea what you're talking about, end quote, I might say. I figured it out, but only after an in-depth interview. See, thanks to my journalism skills, I know who poisoned that coffee. Order! As far as I can tell, the witness is standing by his testimony. That Mr. Misham died the instant after he drank. I need a drink. Of course I'm standing by my testimony. And my dream of exclusive rights to the story. I suppose it was too much to hope for. What was? Of course he wouldn't choose a simple case, not him. Him? Phoenix Wright, who else? Achtung, Herr Brushel, report to us if you would. What is it that you noticed? court is a critical trial of the jury system. I'm afraid no room for doubt is permissible. You will testify to the court about what you noticed. What Brushel noticed? When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Mission was at his desk. He seemed to be writing a letter, but he had quickly sealed the envelope. I thought nothing of it at the time, of course. Now that I think about it, what if he was writing a suicide note? What? A suicide note? Yes, he had this look on his face. Man's face is credible as a quadratic equation, end quote. Suicide? Poor Mr. Misham. But that means Vera's innocent. Would someone commit suicide in the middle of an interview? Maybe. Oh. Drink. Very well. You may begin your cross-examination. What he noticed. When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Mission was at his desk. He seemed to be writing— oh, this is what he already said. He was writing a suicide note. There's like 700 desks in that room. Was there anyone at the studio other than Mr. Mission? Well, his daughter Vera, of course. Was anyone besides Mr. Mission and Vera present? Not a single one. Not a cat, not a rat, not even a mouse. The only person who didn't belong to that studio there was you, wasn't it, Mr. Brushel? Ah! I know what you're doing! Not to be grim, but real people have committed suicide in some pretty astounding ways during an interview isn't a whole stretch. Yeah, it's not a stretch. I know what you're doing. I know your game. I turned to use this classic— what? Ramsden phenomenon ploy, end quote. That must be a psychology thing. If you intend to suggest that this reporter is a suspect, I'm sure you also intend to present evidence supporting the assertion, correct? In the meantime, let's move along, shall we? So, he put the letter away when he saw you? Only reporter gets worm, end quote. That's my secret. I'm not sure I follow. It's the night of the interview. I arrive 15 minutes ahead schedule. The handle turns, the door opens, and I barge in. Are you sure that's okay to do? I mean, isn't that unlawful entry, really? Mr. Bisham sure seemed to think so. You should have seen him. He crammed his letter into that yellow envelope as fast as he could. I know a secret when I spot one, and that was one. It does seem significant. Well, Mr. Justice? I wonder. It does have the ring of something important. Sure? The defense finds the testimony vital, Your Honor. Very well. Please add it to the testimony, then. Hey, why not? My account comes free of charge. This yellow envelope. I heard it was left at the crime scene. Well, I didn't fucking find it. And you saw him seal this yellow envelope with the letter? Hey, don't look at me like that. I saw what I saw. Apollo, you think this might be our big break? Yeah. What I need is to show some decisive evidence now. Thought nothing of it at the time, of course. Now that I think about it, I don't know. Suicide note? Well, yeah, don't quote me on anything. I'm just saying it's a possibility, you know? So you didn't actually check the letter. Of course not, it was sealed. Contents of can unknown until can is opened, end quote. You can always check the label. Do you think Mr. Mission was writing a suicide note? If he was, that would solve the case in a jiffy. It kind of makes me wonder about that letter. Yeah, do I have to present it? I don't have it, though. Oh, wait, what's this? That's the autopsy report. It's red, though. It can't be that. Do I present the mailbox? No. Your Honor. Slap my ass. I have a penalty. Poof. I heard it was left at the crime scene. I'm looking at the walkthrough. Oh, I scrolled way down, that's why I was so confused. Really? Okay. I should really... I'll say slap my ass, Your Honor, all I want! Thank you very much! As it just so happens, there was a single letter in a desk drawer at the scene. In a red envelope. What? Oh, I hate that sprite. Prosecutor Gavin? Yeah? Was a yellow envelope found at the scene of the crime? Unfortunately, no. But, here, forehead. It's easy to mistake the color of an envelope.
Is it?
I guess. But not this envelope. Red is so far away from yellow. You see, it was postmarked already, 7 years ago. Well, Mr. Brushel? I can explain that. Drew, right? He wanted to get the letter in an envelope, pronto. Get it out of sight of my... Get it out of sight of my beady eyes, right? So he grabbed the nearest envelope and crammed away. And what about the whole red and yellow envelope contradiction, chump? Well, Mr. Justice, have you anything to say to the witness's claim? That night, the victim put a letter he had been writing in a red envelope. It's possible. It's impossible. Yeah, I love how often Cliver is just like, yeah. He's my favorite prosecutor, and not just because I like him and have problems about him. He's just really fun. I mean, he was designed to be that way, because, like, he was designed to, like, not be there like the rest of the prosecutors who were just fucking mean.
He's playful, he's fun.
It's impossible? That's impossible. Ah, I like your expression. So full of confidence. It's simple, really. As it just so happens, the defense team investigated the contents of this envelope with the assistance of a forensic scientist. What? Note that this letter is addressed to Drew Mission. Oh? Why would he address a letter to himself? Time capsule. Let alone send a suicide note to himself. I've been scooped! Order, order, order. Mr. Brushel, can you explain this to the court? Oh, my. How could I have forgotten? I suppose this happens to the best of us. Reporter gets old, forgets lost. End quote. Thoughts. I'm still waiting for an explanation, Mr. Brushel. Well, here's the thing. See, after he put his letter in, oh, fuck. Mr. Bishop sat there searching his desk drawer for something. His desk drawer? Yes, a stamp. A so-called postage stamp. End quote. Stamp? Whatever for. Well, to mail his letter, what else? Whoop, where am I? And then, why yes, I think I saw him put his letter in the box. Yes, it was a yellow envelope. And he put it in that box. Well, apparently this yellow letter has nothing to do with it. Oh, how I wish it did! Just think if it were a suicide note. What a story! Star writes suicide note in front of reporter. Falls. End quote. As I was saying, that has nothing to do with this case. That said, yes, Your Honor? It makes me wonder about the contents of that red envelope. $100,000 is quite a good deal of money. So, this was from 7 years ago, yeah? So, am I finished? Am I finished here? I think I was thinking of, you know, going home to start writing. I hate to state what should be pretty obvious to anyone, but when you catch the scent of a story, you make that, rather unique face. Come on! Attorney has active imagination, little else. End quote. I hate all of his sprites. Even I noticed something and my eyes aren't what they used to be. You know, I'm starting to understand what all this perceiving stuff is about. Judge's active imagination. End quote. Please, continue with your testimony. Tell us about the scent of a story. Hey! I'm the one asking the questions here, usually. Ugh. Actually, it took a bit of work to get a thumbs up on the interview. Reporter leveraged a story against his interview, end quote. The story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. That red envelope probably had something to do with it. Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare. Just a series of unconnected statements. So you threatened to go to press with this story. That's how you got your interview? Blackmail? Well, yes. I mean, no. It wasn't exactly black. I mean, not, something wrong, Mr. Brushel? Oh, look! This is my story, my tidbit. Journalist info is livelihood, end quote. I see. While you have me chatting away in here, what's going on out there? What if some Wally Wordsworth or Scally Scooper gets wind of my story? They could be going to press while I'm going to waste! The court feels your pain, Mr. Brushel, but, Mr. Justice, let's pick up the pace. A certain case 7 years ago. Wait, 7 years ago? The scent of a story. Tell me more. A certain case 7 years ago? Tell us, what case? Let me state one thing, Mr. Attorney, and you can quote me on this. I can't talk about that case. Why not? It's about journalistic pride and staunchiness and credibility and connections. Journalist reveals sources only over his dead body, end quote. So what'll it be? Gonna strangle me? Dead men don't tell tales, Mr. Attorney. What are you gonna do? Gonna strangle me? Gonna hit me with Big Bad? Gonna make it count? Or kill me in one shot? Sounds pretty determined not to talk. Our chances of breaking his will aren't looking good. Sir, we're in trial for murder. Yeah. Probably something to do with it. Say what you will, Drew's talent was compared. Why is this like so unrelated? Just how amazing was Mr. Misham's talent? Huh? Oh, wee boy! I mean, hey, he's a star, man, a star! The flow of his brush is like a great undulating river across the canvas. Artist's paintings light up studio like sun, end quote. This guy's full of wacky gestures. But that one just now was wackier than usual. He looks kind of nervous to me, Apollo. Definitely. I'm sensing something different than before here. Maybe it's time to bring out you-know-what. That testimony left a bad taste in my mouth. Well, it makes sense. Nothing jumps out as ridiculous. I wonder what this story he's talking about is. It must have been good to get an interview with a famous recluse like that. Something powerful enough to drag Drew Misham out of hiding. I wonder. Maybe it has something to do with Mr. Misham's art? We gotta look at it with our crazy eyes! I do distinctly remember this one. I don't have to look at the walkthrough. I hate him. I hate this man. Where is it? Gotcha! Sweat munch, Mr. Brushel? Yeah, well, a man can't help his glands, you know? It's more than that. When Mr. Misham's talent was mentioned, you suddenly began to sweat buckets. Ah! You're hiding something. About his talent. What? That's ridiculous! Evidence time. Let's show where Mr. Misham's true talent lay. Just so happens I have evidence showing the talent mentioned in that letter. The painting. Where is it, this one? I can't help but wonder what the court is supposed to conclude from this evidence. What? It's the wrong one? Other than that you've made a horrible mistake? Fuck. Let's try that again. Is it the— oh, do I have to take the stolen one? Fuck. What sense does that make? Fuck you. God, I mean, I guess. There's one of two to pick. This painting was found in Mr. Misham's studio. There are two problems with this painting. The first is it wasn't painted by Mr. Misham. The second is that there was another painting in the studio which looked exactly like this one. Except it was only half done. I wouldn't say it was half. Then we have a letter discussing a payment for $100,000, which suggests a certain business operation. The business of making forgeries. Oh! That is all, Your Honor. Everyone, please, everyone! I want to put Apollo and Hierarchy in the same room. Oh my god! That would be so good! He'd get his ass immediately. No other words about Raging Loop, that's hard spoilers. Can we keep this private, please? This is my story, my scoop! Forgery. That's a really serious crime. Jermission was known as an artist these days. But there were rumors he dabbled in another kind of art until a few years back. Another art meaning forgery? Jermission was talented, alright? Talented at making precise, detailed fakes. The fact that certain criminal elements were quick to discover. Criminal elements? What? You can't seriously be talking about... Exactly. I'm talking about forging evidence. The rumor started circulating 7 years ago. 7 years ago? So, are we to understand that this letter, this payment of $100,000 was for... Exactly. Forged evidence nets tidy profit, end quote. Uh-oh. Order, order, order! Why, it's like our victim was living a double life. Aha! This is my chance! So, the victim had ties to the criminal world, right? He could have had plenty of enemies we know nothing about. This is my first time hearing of this criminal world. Is it? You're a prosecutor. We certainly found no criminal connections when we concluded our investigation. But how do you explain all this money? You have to admit there's a possibility of some illegal activity here. But there is no proof of tying this letter to our case. What? Sure hope this evidence he forged isn't related to Phoenix and his disgraced career. Yeah, definitely. I hope it isn't related to the single event we know that happened 7 years ago. Our case was, and remains, simple from the beginning. Only the defendant could have poisoned that mug that night. And you, of course. Hey! The only thing I poisoned is my pen. When I'm writing reviews. What does that mean? Poisoned my pen? Mr. Brushel, your testimony to this point has been quite unreliable. It doesn't speak well of your reporting acumen. What are you talking about? My journalism was rock solid. Journalism so solid you could stand an elephant on it. End quote. In any case, let's hear a summarized recap of your testimony. If we can't ascertain the situation in that studio from the recap, the trial is over. Apollo, what's he talking about? The cross-examination showed Mr. Brushel didn't have reason of means to poison him. As long as there's no other suspects, then the killer had to be Vera. That's what. This next testimony is our last chance. Mr. Brushel, your testimony, please.
Give me it.
The only other person in the studio that night was the defendant. It's Vera who poured the coffee. She's admitted as much herself. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during the interview was that mug. And nothing left that studio after he died, nothing. What about the fucking letter he wrote? Clearly the only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter. A nice testimony. Clear, succinct, and without room for doubt. Aw, shucks. You really think so? I believe this clarifies the situation that night. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may begin your final cross-examination. Right. I still have one trump card left to play. And I won't let this trial end until I use it. The interview. 100% is defendant. What about his letter? Not one thing? You're sure? Yep, sure as I can be. Well, with one exception. One exception? What? Journalist Spark Brushel does an interview, leaves studio. End quote. Come on! It's a joke, get it? Not funny, I know, but still! Did something leave the studio that night? Why does that sound familiar? Where have I heard something like that before? Now that we've proven our witness is a comedian of sorts, I'd like to turn to our defense attorney before returning to this testimony. Do you have an idea what, if anything, might have left the studio that night? Yeah, the fucking letter. I think one thing might very well have left the studio that night, actually. A certain something that has vanished from the crime scene. By which you mean... something other than our witness? Of course. Don't tell me. Vera Misham? Believe me, any comic relief I may provide is entirely unintentional. Then let's see what you got for us, Mr. Justice. Poor Apollo, he's like such a serious dude and he's stuck in this fucking clown show. Well, this thing wasn't at the scene of crime, so I can't show it to you. But I do have evidence that shows how it could have been taken from the scene. This is the only link between that studio and the outside world. Letterbox? What did Mr. Brushel just tell us? When he entered the studio on the night of the murder, the victim had just finished writing a letter. Yeah, I said that. Yeah, it was true. Furthermore, you went on to tell us that he put the letter in a yellow envelope and put it in the letterbox. Ah! But that very same letterbox was empty. In other words, that night, the yellow envelope disappeared. Ah, yes, intriguing. So an envelope has disappeared from the scene of the crime. Of course, this changes nothing. Huh? He has a point, Mr. Justice. What we're trying to figure out here is how the poison got into Mr. Misham. Is it really important that this envelope the witness says he saw disappeared? Well, if it did disappear, then something did leave the studio that night. That seems very important to me. Very well then, the witness will add this to his testimony. You got it! I still think this fails to change anything here, Forehead. I wouldn't be so sure. A letter disappeared from the crime scene that night. This is exactly the opening I've been looking for. I love when Ace Attorney just highlights words. A letter was put in the post from the studio, but I hardly think that matters. The only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter. Long-suffering Apollo. I mean, if we're saying something else poisoned him... You're sure about that? Well, to be really, really precise, I was busy gobbling mint candies the whole time. Why? One of those candies might have been poisoned. Yet, at the time of the autopsy, no fresh fragrance of mint filled the room. And no mint residue was found. It was a long shot anyway. Don't tell me you're still trying to prove this. You think the victim ate, drank, or otherwise ingested something other than the coffee? Well, Mr. Justice, if you have some proof, the possibility is there, I can feel it. Just maybe not prove it, not yet. And possibility isn't gonna cut it, not now. Mr. Misham ingested that poison via a route other than coffee. I can prove it. I have a little piece of evidence in my pocket. Proof is possible. Here was nothing. Show me that good Sprite. You do understand what we need, yeah? Proof, Herr Forehead, not possibilities. Of course. And Prosecutor Gavin, I hope you understand. I'm ready to give you that proof. But what did you say? I have proof of the disappearing envelope. I saw him writing a letter, I did! Which was picked up by the mailman, I assume. Of course, which means that envelope had a stamp on it. A stamp. Ah. As we all know, stamps come with dried glue on the back. In order to use the glue, you have to wet it by licking the stamp. Who invented this method? Who decided that licking a funny piece of paper was like the ideal way to do stamps? Who thought of this? No one worth talking to actually licks stamps in this day and age. Wait. talking to actually licks stamps in this day and age. What are you, some kind of stamp licker? I've never thought about that line before, it's really funny. Even if you wanted to talk to him, you couldn't. He's dead after all. Okay, so he licked the stamp. But wait, how does that explain the atragonine on the rim of the coffee mug? If he licked the back of a poison stamp... Come on, Apollo, it's the 23rd century, we're living in the goddamn future. If he licked the back of a poison stamp, the poison would get on his tongue, yes? What would then happen if he put the coffee mug to his mouth, Oh. Those traces on the mug weren't the killer's doing. It was the other way around. What? The coffee mug didn't poison Mr. Misham. Mr. Misham poisoned the coffee mug himself. Order, order, order! But that doesn't... Does it? Recall, if you would, atragonine is a slow-acting poison, yes? The poison entered his body when he put the stamp on the envelope. But his time wasn't up until the very moment he touched his lips to that cup of joe. And Brushell did say that he got there like 15 minutes before, so he was there for that entire 15-minute course of eat the poison of the poison acting through his system. Yes, I'm gonna add Mr. Brushell. Uh-oh, his nose is picking up another scent. As I believe I mentioned earlier. Consider the envelope, sat there searching his desk for something. So-called postage stamp. But, you know, I don't seem to remember him ever finding one. Maybe he just run out? Incidentally, we searched his desk drawer at the time of the scene of the crime. There were no stamps. Not a single one. Gah! That does pose a problem. How will you prove that the stamp was coated with poison? Actually, I'm glad no other stamps were found. It makes proving the stamp he used was poison possible. Good show. Good show. You can't even prove there was a stamp at the scene in the first place. Well, let's hear what the defense has to say. What's your evidence that proves the existence of this poison stamp? My little flame. My little baby flame. Well, that certainly is a cute little frame. And by little, I mean really little. It was on the victim's desk, Your Honor. Quite empty, as you can see for yourself. I noticed that too during my inspection. So what? Apparently you weren't as observant as you should have been. You see, when you saw this frame, it was missing something quite important. Missing something? Okay, I have a question I've always wondered since seeing this case about this frame. Is there not glass in it? Why would the atragonine spray react to it if there was glass on the frame? It's something I've always wondered. Because I know that there are frames that don't have glass, but like the majority of them do. Missing something? Yes, a pale bluish stain on the inside of the frame. Atragonine residue. What? Why wasn't I told about this? The frame is only 2 inches square. The face of the frame is even smaller. I assume there's no glass because redacted had to happen. Trying to think about what redacted is. Maybe an inch wide at most. You weren't saying... Oh, but I am. Tell me, what fits in such a small frame? A commemorative stamp, perhaps? Order, order, order! The poison stamp was in this frame? Impossible! But Prosecutor Gavin! Why would he put something like that on his desk? Don't tell me he had it there so he could commit suicide if the mood struck! I have to be mean to Clavier. I love it when you sweat, sweetheart. The tortured expression looks good on you. No, it's a really good sprite. I agree. It's a really good sprite. You know, can I say something? I had a thought, see? What, Mr. Brushell? And please stop jittering around like that. The victim was a forger, right? There's a lot of money in that line of work. Forger forges friends, makes enemies too. End quote. So the poison stamp might have been a murder weapon aimed at him. Oh, Rich. That's Rich. I am so sick of Brushel speaking. Leave the ridiculous flights of fancy to the governor's song lyrics, please. Finally, something we agree on. The stamp was a murder weapon? Nonsense. Honestly, that does sound like a song concept. Write me a love letter that killed me with the stamp. You know? All the clever sprites make me feel insane. I have an art book of them for a reason. I am so jealous that you have the Ace Attorney 4 art book. I want it really bad. I don't know if I can even get it anymore. I think it's like stupid expensive. Yeah, Nick, I want to say something. I remembered something. I'm like, all of the witnesses do is like, but I hate Brushel in particular because I really don't like looking at him. Murder is a simple business. Who would go to such lengths? No one. Well, clearly someone did. Oh, I disagree. Have you seen the cases we've worked on together, Clavier? People will go to a lot of lengths for a lot of things. Come again? That's one of the things that always gets me about the Ace Attorney universe, is that everyone's like, that's ridiculous. Shut up. No one would ever do that. Gesturing at like my entire body of work when you're playing as Phoenix, like all of the cases Phoenix has done is fucking ridiculous. Recall, if you would, the victim's reclusive lifestyle. Jermisham hid from the world. He avoided meetings. His only contact with the outside world was the mail. The mail! Now, if you wanted to kill someone you couldn't meet, but you knew red letters, a stamp would be the perfect weapon. Fucked. Ridiculous. Where's your proof? I want proof. Show us evidence that this poison stamp was sent to him as a murder weapon. I might not have evidence, per se. But things are finally starting to come together, and I need a drink. But what is it, Apollo? Your fists are trembling. I think I know what happened. I don't believe it, but I can see it. I think I know how Mr. Mission was killed. Well, fill us in, Mr. Justice. A certain piece of evidence points to the truth, Your Honor. I can show you how someone with the intent to kill sent Mr. Mission the stamp of death. This, but I'm checking the walkthrough because I have very little health left. Yes. Isn't this the envelope, the one from 7 years ago? Think about the text of the letter again. There were 2 pages in this envelope. This is page 1. And this is page 2. I want to draw your attention to one phrase in particular. Send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within 3 days. The enclosed stamp, Your Honor. Ah! In other words, if I have this straight, the stamp, poison, on the stamp, lick, lick, gasp. End quote. What? Now, what if he had done exactly as the letter asked? He would sign the document, put it in the envelope, and put the stamp on it, right? Then he would put it in his letterbox. 15 minutes wouldn't have elapsed between 15 minutes wouldn't have elapsed between affixing the stamp and mailing the letter. But the clock started ticking, and when the time came, he drew his last breath. And the murder weapon would be taken away from the scene. Quite conveniently, thanks to the postal system. Honestly, I have always loved the concept of killing someone by poisoning a stamp. It's so incredibly mundane and pretty smart if you can get away with it, honestly, because, yeah, they take the murder weapon away. Like, what are you gonna fucking do about that? Such a splendid imagination you have here for it. I don't know if it would work in real life, but it's fun as a fictional concept. Like, that's one thing I really like about this case. I'm like, oh, that's smart, actually, for real. Such a splendid imagination you have here, Forehead. Let me confirm one thing with you, if I might. So, this poison stamp was inside the envelope from 7 years ago. Is that what you'd have us believe? Really? Oh, hey, bud. Well, it is a little bit of a stretch, but there's a possibility. Excuse me. Yes, a very small possibility. How small, I wonder? A poison stamp in this envelope? A stamp that then became the murder weapon? How do you intend to prove that seeming coincidence? Well, it was 7 years ago and we don't even know who sent that letter. And your answer is silence, I see. Very well, I move to... Who the fuck is talking? It's not nice to prick on the furling, Clavier. It's real stab with an icicle, beat your husband with a lamb leg, and then feed it to the cops vibe. Yeah! I really love any of the, like, I don't know, murder weapon tropes of, yeah, it just goes away. It's just gone now. Because, like, all the time it's like, oh, I'll use a knife and clean it and put it back in the knife block. It's like, no, you won't. You won't do this. But I really like the ones where it's like, oh, it's so simple because it just disappears. I think it's fun. Oh, you! Oh. It's Emma. Ah, Emma! Well, like my Christoph Gavin's impression? Did I sound like him? That's fucked! Don't quit your day job. Don't you have a crime scene to be looking after, Fraulein, detective? Someone had to come dig you out of all the mess you're making of this case. Mess? Why would she do that? What purpose? You know, none of this would happen if you just trusted in science a little more. Hey, let me just harass, like, the two people that have, like, deep connections with this dude that's in jail right now. You can find out if that stamp wasn't in an envelope easily. Care to explain yourself, Fraulein Detective? Glare at me all you want, but science is on my side. It's all in the residue, right? That's right! The poison detection spray! Produce the red envelope at once. You can open it on the authority of the court. Alright, let's get into it. Well, would you look at that? No mistaking it. That's atriconine residue. I don't believe it. A murder weapon from the past. Now, 7 years later, it bears its fangs at last. Absolutely outrageous. Tell me why. Why didn't this murder take place 7 years ago? He just used a different stamp. Well, there's one possibility. Maybe Mr. Misham figured it out. Figured what out? He realized that the person who sent that letter wanted him dead. So he sent his reply with a different stamp. And put his decisive evidence in a frame. Who's holding it? Oh, it's you. Ah! You're still here? Can I make a statement here, on the record? I, Spark Razortooth Brushel, claim the scoop is mine. Drew Misham killed in cold blood. By sender of 7-year-old letter, end quote. No, maybe something more succinct. Star falls after 7-year delay, end quote. Rolling my eyes. Order, order, order. I see no room for further argument here. Though I admit, this is all coming as quite a shock. To think that the murder weapon reached his mouth after 7 years. Stamp is ticket straight to afterlife, end quote. Oh, I think the witness is a bad influence on our judge. I see no need for further debate on this matter. The sender of that letter 7 years ago could hardly have been our defendant. Apollo! I think we just won. Very well. This court finds the defendant. This is not gonna be that easy. Is this the bright future of our legal system? You could have stopped at I think our witness is bad. Prosecutor Gavin? A ticket to the afterlife from 7 years ago. Tickets for Gaviner's shows are invalid after 2 weeks. But it doesn't make sense any other way. It boggles my mind that so many people haven't noticed this. There's a fatal contradiction in Herr Forehead's claim. Contradiction? A poison stamp was placed in this envelope 7 years ago. Whereupon it was framed until now. If that's the case, then why would Drew Misham have done what he did? Emma explained that. He must have realized it was poisoned. Therein lies the rub. 7 years ago, the forger Drew Misham sent a trap and put the stamp in the frame. I do not debate this. But this begs the question. Why, 7 years later, did he use that stamp on the night of the murder? Surely you don't mean to suggest that Mr. Misham simply forgot? He put the murder weapon in a frame on his desk for 7 years and forgot? You expect us to believe he sprang the trap on himself? Wah! This is a pickle. Well, I admit this is all quite shocking myself. It does seem highly unlikely that he would fall afoul of a trap that had been sitting on his desk for 7 years. Apollo! I don't think we're winning anymore. I'm glad to see we're all back in the real world now. Welcome back to reality. We've been waiting for you. Okay, then how do you explain the poison stamp that was in this envelope? The poison stamp? Where exactly is this poison stamp again? Have you brought it to court for us? I see no proof that such a thing ever existed. What about the atriconine residue, huh? Oh, I agree, that does seem to be atriconine residue. But her forehead, it's certainly no stamp. Yeah, but even if your precious poison stamp did exist, Drew Misham never would have used it. That is all. Ugh. I believe we've come to a conclusion. Again. Apollo! We were wrong the whole time? I can't believe it! The poison traces match up. It can't be a coincidence. I'd like to bring some closure to this issue sometime this year. Mr. Justice? Yes, Your Honor. Let's review the facts and see where we stand. 7 years ago, Drew Mission received a red envelope. There were traces of the poison atriconine on the document inside the envelope. A similar trace was also found at the crime scene, on this tiny picture frame. The defense has indicated the possibility of a yellow envelope. An envelope that left the scene of the crime with a poison stamp on it. Yes, but even if this envelope contained a poison stamp, and Drew Misham, knowing this, put it in a frame, he never would have used that stamp. I'm afraid you're right. Which means there's a fatal flaw in the defense's case. I haven't been on the wrong track this whole time, I'm sure of it. The traces of atriconine, the envelope, the frame, and Drew Misham's mysterious death. They're all connected somehow. Well, Mr. Justice, do you have a conclusion for us? The defense stands by its case, Your Honor. We've seen that the logical outcome of the evidence makes no sense, which means that one of our clues must be a fake. Ah, a fake clue? Fascinating. And if we find this fake, your wild fantasies will prove quite reasonable, yeah? The fake clue that's thrown us off of the poison trail is none other than... What? I mean, these two are both connected, so... Drew? The victim was a fake clue? I'm afraid I don't understand. I'll explain. We have an envelope, a frame, and a mug linked by poison. That all makes sense. What doesn't make sense is the victim himself. Congratulations, you've completely lost me. So the fake evidence is none other than the master of fake himself, the forger? It makes a good story, I'll give you that. The fake clue, fakes, forgeries... Ah! I know that face! That's the I just had an idea face! I don't know if I'm right, but I'm going with it anyway! What if our forger is the fake? Come again? 7 years ago, our forger sniffed a trap and stepped aside. 7 years passed. Now the forger stumbles into that very same trap and dies. Why? That's what I want to know! Because the forger who was killed was a fake. Here we are again! The victim was a fake? One forger smelled the trap. One forger fell into the trap. That's 2 forgers, and one of them was a fake. What? Order, order, order! Whoop, whoop, whoop. So you were telling us that Drew Mission, the victim, was a fake? Well, if he was the fake, who was the real forger? You better not be claiming there was some kind of switcheroo. I'm afraid you're going to have to back up your story. Mr. Justice, show us just who the real Drew Mission was. If Drew Mission wasn't the real forger, there's only one other person who it could have been. Understood, Your Honor. Forger Drew Bishop himself was a forgery. The real forger was, I mean, the only fucking person in that house. Oh, she's 19. There can only be one explanation, really. The real identity of the forger known as Drew Misham is none other than his only daughter, Vera Misham. Order, order, order! Mr. Justice, this is going out on a limb, even for you. I kinda agree. I mean, Vera, a forger? Let's consider it before you write it off entirely. Why not ask her? If you look at the paintings in the studio, one fact becomes quite clear. Forgery had been taking place in the studio for quite some time. The forger wasn't caught in the trap 7 years ago. This can only mean that the one who was caught in the trap wasn't the forger. Well, actually, that does make a certain kind of sense. One more thing. Only 2 sets of fingerprints were found in the forger's studio. Drew Misham's and Vera Misham's. If we know that Drew Misham wasn't the forger, that leaves only one possibility by process of elimination. Excuse me. The forger was Vera Misham. Well? Fascinating. Hello. Vera Misham? You've been paying attention to the trial so far? Let's just ask her and be done with it, shall we? Who are you? Who is the forger, Drew Misham? Was that an expression of emotion I saw on her face? Excuse me. She's staring holes into Prosecutor Gavin's face. I'm used to being stared at by Frauleins, believe me. Though they usually talk to me, too. Tell us, were you the one who forged those works of art? Yes. So the forger, Drew Misham, was you? Yes, it was me. What? What? The court was in an uproar, and it wasn't coming down. We had to break for 10-minute recess. Let me save my game, let me save my game, let me save my game. Yes. We'll hit the button. No. No. I don't remember how to leave. I don't remember the button to leave. Well, I'll just hit the button again and destroy the game with my fist. I've destroyed the game with my fist. I'm done now, but before we end, I want to actually, like, go see if Misham is a pun or not, because I literally don't know. I'm opening the Wikipedia page. I've played the game before, so I'm allowed to do this. Scrolling to the bottom. I want to see the trivia section. Where is it? There. In English... Hang on, I'm making sure that it's not a spoiler. Okay. The name Vera comes from the Latin word for truth or the Russian word for faith. Her surname Misham comes from my sham. This could be a reference to her Japanese surname, which is ise, I don't know how to pronounce it, which means imitation. It also contains the kanji for painting. This is referring to the forged painting she made back then. And her first name in Japanese is Makoto. Generally a name used for males, but a first name for females. Sometimes it roughly translates to sincerity. So yes, that is her name. And apparently her French name, surname is just Monine, which may be a reference to Monet. Monet. Why did I say it like that? But yeah. Yeah, most Ace Attorney characters end up having pun names. Even, like, they're pun names in Japanese, too, so of course they would make an attempt to make an attempt in English. Some of them are pretty bad. Her name is Real Fake Paintings. basically. Or like, her name is basically like, I'm the forger. Actually, I mean, Drew's is probably the same, which is Drew for drawing. I don't think I need to check. I'm pretty sure that's what it would be. So his name would be like fake drawings. But yeah, that will be Ace Attorney for this week. And hopefully next week will be more Ace Attorney. Because it's been a fucking while. It's been a while since I started doing this series. And it was a while since I last played it. I don't want to put 2 months between them again. It's just I need to have the talking energy. And I am just a little guy and usually can't talk by myself for 3 hours straight. And if you ever watch, or if you're ever paying attention, the beginning of my Ace Attorney videos, I sound way different than I do at the end of them. If you go back and compare like the way I sound to the way I am at the end, it's like, oh god. Hey, are your vocal cords okay? No, they're not. But yeah, thank you for joining me. I hope I see you next time. Do the streamer gamer things of hitting so many buttons to see that I exist, and when I exist online, and to hit the bells, hit all those fun streamer bells. Yeah, I will see you all next time. Thank you for coming. Thank you to anyone who watched the VOD. Bye bye.